Coach, what are some of your all-time favorite MMA fights to watch? That's from Jordan Shakur. Wow, that's such a great question. Oh man, I have so many favorite fights. My God, I have so many favorite fights. I'm gonna exclude all the fighters I've trained, okay, because that wouldn't be fair. Okay, I'm gonna exclude because so many of those. I would have to pick every single guy I've ever trained. But my favorite fights, some guys I haven't trained, okay, because then I could be a little bit more objective. There's one fight where Sakuraba, I was there, K1 Heroes, okay, and like Sakuraba was a big influence on me. Like I watched him growing up. I was a blue belt when he was a superstar, and of course I was, studying him and watching him, and of course he fought so many Gracies, and I trained with the Gracies, and there's such history there. But he was such a superstar in Japan. It's kind of hard to explain. The Japanese they had a very special love for Sakuraba. Very, very special love. Like he just could do no wrong. Okay, and he has a wild and crazy life, of course. For those of you who might know a bit about his biography, he's a wild man. But there was one fight where he was fighting, I think it was a Lithuanian fellow. Like this is way past his prime now. Way past his prime. He's fighting K1 Heroes, and they brought some guy we don't never heard of, and we don't know what to expect. And lo and behold, Sakuraba was getting a beating. Okay, it's really sad. I'm ringside now. Okay, I had Ivan Menjivar fighting that night, and then after Ivan's fight, we got to sit ringside. And Japan is such an experience because the fans watch the fight quietly. They don't say one word, and then when you do something good, they give you like a golf clap. Like they're they're so quiet. And if you do something amazing, then they'll cheer. But they're not like cursing at you, yelling, kick him in the. They're not hollering. They're not doing anything remotely. There's no disbehavior. There's no bad behavior whatsoever. They're so disciplined. They're so friendly. They're so positive. When you fight in the U.S., they boo you, they hiss, they curse you. Get up and knock him out. You're a bum. They just insult. Like you get a lot of insults. You get a lot of love, but you also get a lot of insults. In Japan, it's just love. It's just like love, admiration. Even if you didn't win, if you gave your best, we respect you. That's their attitude. Okay. Now in the U.S., it's kind of like you won 8 fights in a row, but you lost your 9th. You suck. You're only as good as your last fight. We forgot about those 8 wins you got. Oh, you suck. You're a bum. You're a garbage. We never want to see you again. We're offended that you came here and lost. Now again, I don't want to generalize. Okay, that's a bit of a generalization, but there is some of that. Okay, there is some of that. Not all the fans. Most fans are great around the world. They're great. Yes, they're very, friendly, kind. But there's some of that in the West. In Japan, you won't see any of that. They won't say a negative thing. It's very rare they say anything negative. Like you'd have to be the most boring fighter ever. Okay, so I'm sitting there and I'm watching Sakuraba get a beating. Like I'm telling you, he's getting a beating. I have to find this fight. It's such a great fight. He's literally under the ropes, getting punched through the ropes, and he's just getting his head's bouncing off the canvas. And they would stop this fight, but because it's Sakuraba, the referee's like, "Hey, this is Sakuraba. I can't stop the fight." And lo and behold, Sakuraba is getting punched. And man, can that man take punishment? It's insane. He has a heart of a lion, guys. Make no mistake. Sakuraba has a heart of a lion. The Lithuanian guy punching him on the top of him. It's just beating the hell out of Sakuraba. And then Sakuraba starts to like twitch and starts to like zigzag and move, and he's just coming back to life. And it's like, what? This fight should be stopped. And he's just coming back and he starts fighting. And then he gets back to his feet, Sakuraba. And all of a sudden, Sakuraba's throwing his famous style punches. Like he looks like a cat swatting swatting at a bird. Like he's just, the way he punches, it's just so bizarre. He's so many things that he does is so bizarre. And now he's turning the table slowly. And the Japanese crowd is going insane. They're roaring now. Very unlike the Japanese. The Japanese will ooh, they'll ah, they'll give you a golf clap. They'll cheer at the end if there's a beautiful submission. But now the Japanese are riled up. Their hero was getting killed. They're all like, this is the end. Yet no, he comes out. He shows the heart of a lion, comes back from the dead like a zombie walking, starts beating on this Lithuanian guy, knocks him down, eventually subdues him, gets him to an armbar and finishes the fight, taps him out, wins. Now I got to hang out with that poor Lithuanian guy after. All of Japan was against this Lithuanian guy. And, he didn't speak a word of English, but, I consoled him a bit. He's a good guy, tough guy. He'll be back. Yeah, he's a very tough guy. No, they didn't bring him no slouch, even though I didn't know the guy at the time. The Japanese were like giving Sakuraba a standing ovation. It was something incredible to see. Then they shot the confetti cannons. It was like a storybook, like a total storybook. Sometimes I watch that fight just to like relive that moment. It's an incredible fight. I forget the Lithuanian's guy's name. I don't even know if he was Lithuanian. Forgive me if I'm getting that wrong, but please, guys, put his name in the chat. Somebody who knows which fight I'm talking about. It was in K1 Heroes. Look it up. Put it in the chat room. Let everybody watch it. One of my favorite fights ever. Why? Because I was there, and I've been to Japan. At that time, that was like my 4th trip to Japan. I've gotten to know the Japanese. The Japanese don't behave like this. Is out of character. It's out of character for them to jump up and down and just to like, lose it a little. Lose control. And it was a very special thing to see, because the Japanese, they're usually very shy, very courteous, very, how do you say? They're humble, they're quiet, they're disciplined, they're very disciplined. They don't show a lot of emotion.